I know it's early and it's only been 2 games, but so far, I think the Lakers have showed me that they're a serious contender in the West. I think they have. I think that every single issue that needed to be corrected from last year has been corrected. The roster, people want to snark at the roster. People want to say that that roster isn't that good. I think if you look at the ins and the outs of it, it's a really solid put together unit. LeBron, obviously, not what he used to be, obviously, but still a guy that I would want on my team when it came to the playoffs, when it came to big time games. He's a guy that I would want on my team. He can give you 25 a night any night. And then you have AD, who's playing out of his mind. He's playing kind of like he's got something to prove. Like that performance last night against Phoenix was incredible. Incredible. He's all over the court. He's all over the court. He's doing stuff on defense. He's the best defensive player in the NBA right now. I don't know. When he's at full go, I don't know if it's relatively close. And they've gotten these 2 quality wins. Minnesota already out of already beaten. Phoenix already beaten. And I know it's the first 2 games, and I know what people are going to say. You're jumping to conclusions. I just think it looks a million times better. Dalton Connect is someone where I think he had two big threes in that game. If you can get, that's all you need from him. If you can get like a 3 or 2 a game from him, that's better than what they've done in the past with bringing on other guys. It's another resource they can do. That Austin Reeves. It's all coming together, I think, in what's been just a 3-year, just great stretch for the player. Easily the number 3 there, easily the 3rd best player on that Lakers team. And I think he's taken the next step here. Like he dang near had 30 in that game, and he's just playing out of his mind. His skill set, some of the stuff he does defensively, the hustle, the shooting abilities have been improving. Rui Hachimura looks more and more athletic as the games go. D'Angelo Russell still kind of has his moments where he's inconsistent from shooting, but still able to play make, able to set up people with good passes. They just need him to be a point guard. They obviously need him to knock down shots, but you have a cast around you. So I think the roster is pretty dang good. Like you look at some of these other rosters, like the Suns that they played last night. Sure, their 3 best guys are better, but they're incredibly top heavy. Like there's no depth. That's why they go up by 20 points in that game, and Lakers just storm back because they have the depth to compete. So, and then you can do this with you can do this with the Bucks. Like, do you think roster for roster, the Bucks have a better? I don't think so. I think if you went player by player, you looked at the depth. I don't think that the Bucks have a better roster than the Lakers. That's my opinion, and I could get bashed for that, but I don't think they do. And I think you look at this team, and what they've done is just really emphasize the hustle, emphasize the ball movement. That's why I liked the hire of JJ Redick, because you have a scheme guy. You have I knew from like his podcast, you could see like every time before the podcast he do with LeBron would just be him showing schemes, showing play sets, showing, and I think that goes back to as a player, he was like that shooter type where you kind of have to run around, you got to find your spots. You become like Steve Kerr is known as a very good head coach after what he's done, and he had a similar role as JJ, where they were just three-point guys, sometimes 3-and-D guys, but more just like streaky shooters. And it's not the easiest. Like it's not just like catch the ball, shoot it. So you got to get set up. You got to find the right scheme. You got to be in the right place. And I think that's helped them tremendously. And I think that if you go team by team, obviously the Nuggets are going to be a tough out for them. But I think Minnesota's regressed. I think what you've done with that pretty much is you put Anthony Edwards on an island at that point where he is a great player. But is he going to have enough guys around him to take down some of these teams? I don't know. That's a big question. The Thunder are scary. Mavericks are going to be scary if Clay continues to play like that. But I can't sit here and say that I don't think they're a contender just with what they've looked like so far. Now, obviously, this is all barring injury because you never know. You never know, like when AD could go down, when LeBron could go down, what could happen to the depth. But so far, I think it's looked really, really good. Maybe I need to see more of a sample size, but JJ's turned around this team. They're playing the right guys. They seem in sync with each other. It's just all coming together, and it's just been tremendous. Some of the defense has been incredible, and I like how in this game, because I think the big thing with the Lakers is their inside presence it's perhaps one of the best in the league. They just dominate the inside. Like LeBron, I think his best quality that he still has left, aside from he can occasionally be a streaky shooter, but that's not what's going to kill you on a consistent basis. It's his drive ability. That guy's like driving to the lane. He's a freight train. It's like really tough to stop him when he's on the drive. And I think JJ set that up in some of the schemes and the play calling that he's doing, where he's setting up LeBron. And they've shifted the focus towards AD, which I think you should do. AD still in his probably might be leaving, like just leaving it, but like still in his prime. And LeBron, he doesn't need to score 25 a game. Statistically, the seasons where he scores like 29, 30 plus are not, other than the 2018 outlier year, are not his best years. And even that year, I think they finished like the 4th, 5th seed. He's at his best, I think, at this point in his career, scoring that 17 to 21 range. Scoring that, 17 to like somewhere in that ballpark, and he's just more of a playmaker doing things. Get him in the right spots, set him up. He made some great passes in that game. But I think that's a good vocal point. But going back to their inside presence, if you could develop the shooters around that, if you could dominate the game both on the inside, because they're going to dominate the inside. If you can shoot consistently from deep, it's going to be really tough. This is going to be, no matter what, even if they don't get out of the West, it's going to be a tough out. This is going to be, barring injuries, this is going to be a tough out in the NBA. And I've liked what I've seen so far. I thought he'd be a good coach when he came in. I think that they're using everybody well. Can AD keep it up? Can Austin Reeves keep it up? LeBron, usually as the season goes, kind of eases in. The first couple of games are usually feel-out games for him. If you look, he doesn't win a lot of the first games of the NBA year or second. So maybe you could say that some of the production hasn't even been to the top level of expertise of LeBron at this point. But nonetheless, it's been good to see so far. It's going to be a fun year. It's going to be a fun year for this Lakers team, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here.